Jeff Slauson here from 19 News Now at the 19 News Digital Desk, here to talk about Lakewood Park and particularly the plans for the waterfront access area. So new and pretty much final renderings were revealed today of what that's going to look like here. I'm going to take away that lower for you. So there's a couple of things that I want to point your eye to. There's a pier that would be added there. A shelter area would be in place as well. You can't see the totality of that. And then also what is being called a cobble beach that's basically right in front of there as well. So what this would do is this would allow for easy access for people that are going to be hopping onto paddle boards, paddle boats, things like that. It would also allow for a little bit more of a, I guess you could call it, leisurely area for people to hang out and be able to relax. A couple of things that this also does in this, and you can kind of see that there, is that cobble beach also would play into allowing people or having people easier access in and out of the water. Now currently, for those that are familiar with it, there's basically those big rocks that are there. So many are concerned that potentially this could be maybe a little less safe as a result of that. So I want to play for you part of the meeting that took place earlier today. It's a little difficult to just kind of drop you in the middle of it, but it's, what is that? Sorry, I don't know what this thing is here. But you're not going to see anybody. You're just going to hear it from the parts of the meeting. But essentially, if you're in the area, you'll understand exactly what we're getting at here. And they're going to show parts of the new renderings as well.
Accommodate it, but it's happening right now, honestly. So the question is, if we're creating this sort of cobble beach area and we're concerned about people putting their toes in the water, why are we even creating it? And the answer is, I think it's trying to find a balance, right? People are going to get there naturally right now. They do. They go over the top of the edge of the units. They got a little path down there. So it's accommodating, but I think the question comes down to, are we really trying to promote like swimming? No. But am I trying to promote toes in the water? Sure. Am I trying to give a place for people to actually pull out paddlecraft? Sure. I think the idea, as we all talked about at the previous meetings, was if I'm pulling a kayak, if I'm trying to get a canoe or a kayak here, I want to accommodate somebody, but they are a champion if they are pulling it all the way out here, right? And so like that's actually, I think that's great if they do that. But I think it's just an acknowledgement that people are going to do that and we want to facilitate a safe way to do that. Is kind of what we're doing. And I don't know how to better describe that sort of management, that struggle we had, that tension of like, yeah, but that's the best I can probably describe it as. I don't know, Sean, if you have any. Sure. Yeah.
We walk this territory on a regular basis, and categorically, trees take so long to grow, and I would rather like to have the trees we save
Yeah.
or preserve at all consideration. May have to take a few down, but I just don't want them knocked out.
Oh, and I think that's a.
Preserve as much as you can.
And I think I would say that's a very reasonable perspective. I will give you a contrary perspective on it. And it is not meant to be like belligerent or whatever. Trees shade in this environment everything that happens on that bluff. And what happens trees shade what happens on the bluff and the vegetation that grows underneath it. That creates opportunities for erosion. So there's this balance. And so I think ultimately if there's trees that we can actually preserve that are limbed up high enough that actually promote or allow for vegetation underneath, I think it's a great idea. And people actually said in our previous meetings, shade's important. It gets hot down there. So actually I think you're probably right in that it takes a long time to grow a tree. So I think if you're gonna go around whacking trees miscellaneously, I think that's probably not the right choice. But I think it's finding the right balance. And we didn't do a tree survey and look at condition and all that stuff, but that would be something that you'd want to do when you're moving forward. That makes total sense to me. Yeah.
One thing about the park now is the east side is pretty much neglected as far as being able to see anything from it. I mean, as you can see, people like in that path all kind of stacked up. So the fact that they're opening
No, I think that,
And there's actually a lot of trees over there that block the rock cover. You really don't have a lot of options other than on the
yeah, there's I mean, people do actually use that edge for things that you want and some things you don't want. I can tell you, having worked east of here, that people use it for volleyball a lot. I found 5 volleyballs when I was down at the Gold Coast section. So, but yeah, it is. I think it's important to acknowledge that that bluff on the east side sort of does limit the views of downtown. So how can we enhance that? And I think we're striking that balance by providing some new amenities and activating that edge. Yeah. Lavender, magenta, whatever color we're going with. On the,
So I can see that pier being super desirable.
yep.
So I was wondering, like, about how many people can that accommodate, the size it is right now? And like, I know you said you haven't gotten into details, but do you anticipate like seating all along to access out to the wider part then?
So if I were guessing at things, but I'll give it my best interpretation. Seating is probably not all along the edge, right? It's probably underneath the canopy or more in the center, because people want to hang out on the perimeter. And so maybe there's a couple of benches that are towards the edge, but I'd probably say the seating's probably in the center. But that's a design detail that we can work through. In terms of capacity, I don't know how many people are here tonight. Let's see, you're 20, you're 40. Let's say 160. I bet you could hold that many people for a big event. For every,
Have that at your summer solstice. You're going to see people. You're going to see people crammed in all along. You know, the 19th through the 23rd. We have those prime viewings. I think at other times, can it hold that many? Yes. I think it's going to depend on weather, just like the steps, just like the rest of the park. We get 994,000 visitors a year at Lakewood Park. So it really depends. We have the software, we hold it. So awesome. We have an amazing park that's getting a lot of visitors. It's a little difficult to say per day. A lot of it is also very weather dependent. So, but a max capacity.
yeah, I'd say you're in a hundreds range.
So as I said, a little difficult to kind of see a lot of that, but the renderings speak for themselves. This is a massive opportunity for Lakewood. So what are the next steps here? When will we potentially see all of this heading toward the Lakewood area? Well, basically, this was the final round of renderings. So from here on out, then, we will see grants being given out, we will see detailed designs established, more public engagement, and then we will see construction companies bid and ultimately start on this new site. All right, much more on this and many stories of the day tonight on 19 News at 10 and 11. Of course, 9:15, we'll have our first alert weather stream as well. For now, I'm Jeff Slauson with 19 News. Have a great night. Much more to come, both on air and online.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung Smart TV.